Hello to everybody. Today we are going to present the project that me and my Asoc team have analyzed, the Crystal Palace. My name is Andrea Barbato and I'm the analyst of the group. Our social media Giovanna has already updated our Twitter account with our logo representing a coin made in 1851, the same year the Crystal Palace was inaugurated, and the name of the team, that is Exhibitors of Victory.
Hi everybody, I'm Giovanna, the social media manager of the team. I've worked on the advertising of the Crystal Palace. Nowadays, we can easily get information about what is happening around us thanks to media, social networks, internet, television, radio, and so on. But in Victorian age, everything was completely different. Journals and advertising were the best ways to inform people. In 1851, all the British journals presented the most successful event ever staged, the Great Exhibition. The opening of the Great Exhibition in 1851 just happened to coincide with the building of another great innovation of the Industrial Revolution. Visiting London became easy for the masses thanks to the new railway lines that had spread across the country. The slide shows some posters advertising trips to the Crystal Palace. As you can see, many trains were available also at cheap prices, so that everyone all around the world could see the works of industry of all nations housed in the sparkling Crystal Palace. In a way, the Great Exhibition created the modern tourism industry of package tours and transportation.
As analyst of the group, I found interesting the fact that the total sum to achieve the palace was £2 million, entirely funded by public subscription. Once the structure was built, as I reported in the graph, 14,000 exhibitors participated to the exhibition. Half of them was non-British, and 1,756 of them were French people. The period of time that the project has requested to be completed has been really short. It has started in 1850 and concluded in 1851. Behind the palace, the committee of the project has received 245 entries, including 38 of them which were international submissions. The projects that had the highest possibility to be chosen were the ones of Hector O'Rourke and Richard Turner, but they had been rejected later because considered unobtainable. Then the committee decided to create a simple project as a base, and the fastest work to be accomplished was the one of Joseph Paxton. That's why it has been immediately chosen. The exhibitions brought very quickly positive results. In fact, they attracted 6 million visitors and made a profit of 12 million pounds in less than 5 months. An interesting curiosity is the fact that even the public toilet was introduced and paid 1 penny to be used.
I am Gaia Romano, the team's project manager. In this section, we are going to discover why the construction of the Crystal Palace is considered to be the birth of modern architecture and engineering. Here is some basic and general information about the overall structure. The building was 600 meters by 120 meters and 34 meters in height, internally divided in 2 floors with 1 central open space. Being entirely made up of cast iron and glass, it was the most luminous and eco-friendly structure ever seen yet. If we try to think about just one word to describe the process of making and the conceptual meaning of the Crystal Palace, it surely is smart. Ingenious problem solving was what made this building so relevant in history. The first problem, the need for a fast and cheap project, was solved with Paxton's submission. The gardener had found a completely new way for construction, the use of triangular models, prefabricated and self-sustaining. This means that it was not necessary to wait and build the palace bottom to top. Instead, each model was independently made from uncut glass sheets, and then all pieces were assembled together. This process sped up and made easier the work to be completed just in 8 months. Imagine it started raining heavily. To prevent the glass from breaking, which has a low tensile strength, a new roof was designed called ridge and furrow roof. made up of triangles with water collecting channels between them. With this design, rain ran off the angled glass roof planes into U-shaped cast iron channels. As we know, the Great Exhibition was kept during summer, so it was necessary to keep a suitable temperature. Wet canvas shade cloths, which generated water vapor while exposed to the sunlight, and a new ventilation system were both used. Cleaning up such a vast building could have been a problem, and Paxson tried to solve it with a new machine and a reinvented floor. But in the end, the long skirts of women who were attending the exposition made great part of the job, getting dirty and taking away the dust with them.
The purpose of the Great Exhibition was to showcase the best in industrial design and manufacturing across the world, with special emphasis on British inventions. Its 100,000 exhibits included rail engines of every type, prototype bicycles, raised ink, high-speed printing presses, etc. The illustrated exhibitor was a guide intended both as a means of navigating the vast site and a souvenir for visitors. The slide also shows the Crystal Palace and its contents, an illustrated encyclopedia with a copious index of all the contents. The London News, which was the world's first illustrated weekly news magazine, added a special supplement dedicated to the event. All the new inventions exhibited were advertised in forms of posters. We can say that this event encouraged the art of advertising. Manufacturers and inventors started to look for methods to differentiate their product from others and influence the visitors to come and to their stands. The Great Exhibition was deeply changing how people live and work, and this brought a lot of enthusiasm among them. It had a great influence which inspired many artists and their works. The slide shows some of them, such as the street ballad "I'm going to see the exhibition for a shilling," treating on the general happiness for the exhibition. Also, The Little Henry's Holiday at the Great Exhibition was a fascinating novel that reflects the excitement of the time. The last photo shows a set of 12 polkas for piano solo composed expressly for the event.
Hello everybody, I'm Sophie Sapio, the storyteller of my team. I'm going to be presenting what happened inside the Crystal Palace and what was the impact it had on people. Well, since it was originally built to impress the world with British achievements, it contained pretty much every marvel of the Victorian age. The main nave was filled with products from all over the world to demonstrate the greatness of Britain's progress. Among the exhibits, there were pottery and porcelain, furniture, weapons, perfumes, life-size models of extinct animals, and much more, even an organ playing music. Of course, as a consequence of the Industrial Revolution, huge developments were made in the technological field, so there were many examples of the steam engine, including railway stations, agricultural machines, and hydraulic presses. One of the most impressive aspects to analyze is the combination of nature and technology, presented side by side. The building was placed over the park, keeping the trees safe on the inside, and even something as close to nature as the fountains required big engineering capabilities. It was beautiful and carefully controlled. There's no other way to describe it than saying it was the final expression of human progress, like it had reached its climax. This influenced people to have extremely positive thoughts, thinking that they had basically everything under their control. Looking up to the roof from the inside, the thin cast iron bars became barely perceptible, and the boundaries slipped off to infinity. This made people understand that human imagination has no limit. On the other hand, it can be very depressing, because once you reach the peak, there is nothing left to climb. The structure eliminated all of the questions, providing all of the answers, and this meant that new creative solutions were unnecessary. But the control people thought they had over nature, sciences, and so on was obviously proved wrong. Einstein demonstrated that time and space were relative. Gödel proved that the axioms of mathematics were incomplete. Freud questioned the abilities of even understanding our own motives, and yet the Crystal Palace burned down.
On November the 30, 1936, the iconic Crystal Palace, symbol of Victorian era, was destroyed by one of the greatest fires ever seen in London. At just after 7 p.m. on the evening of November the 30, the palace manager, Sir Harry Buckland, was walking in the grounds of the building when he saw a red glow emanating from it. The blaze took hold with alarming speed. By 8 p.m., the building was an inferno. Its glow, which was said could be seen across 8 counties, proved an attraction for Londoners. Despite the best efforts, the building could not be saved. Buckland told the reporters that the magnificent structure will live in the memories not only of Englishmen, but the whole world. These are some curious facts about the event. The cause of the fire was never discovered, but theories have included a cigarette falling from floorboards. At the time of the fire, an orchestra was playing in the garden hall. Winston Churchill broke his journey to view the blaze. He is reported to have watched with tears in his eyes, saying, "This is an end of an age."